Everything that you have been told about this CBS 60 Minutes thing is wrong. At the bare minimum, it is a distraction. Of course, I'm talking about 60 Minutes being forced to shelve the episode regarding CCOT, the El Salvador prison, because of intervention from Bari Weiss. And everyone is talking about how this is, CBS being caught and how Bari Weiss stepped over the line, all these things. But the reality is, that is not the story. What we are seeing transpire in real time is a transition to the fourth estate, the media, to an attempt to have a state-controlled media. And there's no greater evidence of this than the fact that CBS is really not backpedaling or worrying or doing really anything. In different times, this would certainly have resulted in the immediate resignation of Bari Weiss. But that's not happening. What comes next is not the shelving or the disappearance of this episode, but rather the appearance of propriety, the appearance of journalistic integrity. We shelved this story to be more fair, to have a fair and balanced news. But the filter of the fair and balance is that the state, the United States in this instance, is given the deference of the truth. The truth becomes what the state decides by weighing in. And there is no better proof of that than the fact that we have dismissed the original sin. We are talking about the sprinkles of the frosting on the cake. The cake has already been baked. We're talking about journalistic deference on an issue that itself is the original sin. The original sin is sending people to El Salvador. That's the original sin. That is where there needs to be accountability. That is where there needs to be significant action. But now we're talking about whether or not Bari Weiss thinks it's okay to talk about the story. That is further proof of how far the window has shifted. It is shifting, or there is an attempt. I don't want to say it's there yet, but there's an attempt to say the journalism in America has to run through a filter of what the state, the government, says is the truth. This is Carolyn Levitt's entire job, by the way. Bari Weiss did not get caught punting a story. Bari Weiss stopped that story to prove that she was in control. In a normal and functioning democracy, the outrage from this would most certainly have caused or demanded the resignation of someone who punted a story like this. But let us be honest, you weren't planning on sitting down and watching that story anyway. The only reason you know about it is because of all the brouhaha, and that proves the point. This is not a gotcha. This is the way it's going to be.